Derrel Jazz Johnson here, MSG Varsity, Fathers and Sons Magazine, RazzaJazzSports.com, here with CBS Sports Network personality, Brandon Tierney. Brandon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hey, it's the playoffs, it's the Garden. I think we're all doing pretty well.
First, welcome back to the East Coast. We're glad to have you back. Last time I probably spoke to you specifically about basketball was 2 years ago, and the Boston Celtics were playing the New York Knicks in the playoffs. How have the two teams changed since then?
Well, the Celtics have gotten old. I think you start with that, and I think the Knicks have better roster composition. You know, they finally have, you know, a few guys that can penetrate, a couple of guys that can stick the open shot. They've got a couple of defenders. It's just the Knicks finally have balance, I think is what I'm trying to say. They got a nice balanced roster.
What changed? Obviously, the Knicks have had a much better season than the Boston Celtics, but what about the Boston Celtics pedigree, that championship pedigree that they have, make you think that they could make this an interesting series?
You got to respect that. I mean, you'd be a fool not to. Celtics are a proud, resilient, tough bunch. And, you know, and I wrote this recently for my blog, and I said, and I was trying to incorporate everything, the roster and, as you said, the experience of the Celtics. To me, I think too many people are overvaluing that. And there's a fine line between being respectful of it, but also understanding, hey, we have the better team. We're the home team. We're the 2 seed for a reason. We're going to wipe the floor with you. You know, it's like I read these predictions and I see Knicks in 7, Knicks in 6. Knicks shouldn't lose more than once. And if you want to really cut it down and narrow it down, I'll do it for you. Knicks have the best player in the series by far. And that's Carmelo. And it's not even close. And when you have that, you're supposed to win.
Let's take a trip to Brooklyn. There's another series in New York City that begins tonight.
My hometown, by the way.
The hometown Brooklyn Nets facing the Chicago Bulls. What are your thoughts on that series?
You know, I like the Bulls before we really knew about the extent of Noah's injury. I thought if Noah played, and it looks like he's not going to play at all, and if he does, he's going to be very compromised. I thought he might be a nuisance to Brook Lopez, which could kind of alter the series, and Butler's a good defender as well, which I think could, you know, maybe put the wraps on Joe Johnson late. But without Noah, you know, I like the Nets in 6 here. You know, the last thing you want to do is drop the opener and then have to win the second game. Because the one thing I'll say about Chicago, even without Noah, you know, in stopping Miami's 27-game win streak and the Knicks' 13-game win streak, that's a characteristic. That tells me that these guys respond to the moment. They embrace, they know when people are watching. But while I'm not in love with what the Nets are, without Noah, they're better. And they are the home team, and I think they'll win the series.
What type of wild card can a player who played for the Knicks, Nate Robinson, be in a series like that?
You know, I'll tell you, Nate's a funny guy. And doing the Knicks broadcast when he was a Knick, it's been interesting to see his evolution as a player. I thought even back then, if Nate Robinson ever really embraced what he should be, and that's almost like a modernized Vinnie Johnson, and stopped trying to be a superstar, you know, he would have, and he's even had a pretty good career now, would have had an even better career. I think Nate Robinson is a guy that can steal a game. On the road, he's got big guts. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. The more people are against him, the more he likes it. He embraces that. And being small, that certainly plays a part of it. He's been the underdog. You know, but Nate could also put up, you know, 4 for 16 and have, you know, 3 killer turnovers in the fourth quarter. So, you know, flip a coin. He might win you one. He might lose you one.
Tell the people where they can hear you on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, well, we're nationally broadcast. It's a simulcast here, based in New York City. But we have over 100 affiliates, 3 hours a morning, Monday through Friday. Myself, Tiki Barber, and Dana Jacobson. So it's good, man. It's a great business model. I wouldn't have left the Bay Area. We were happy out there, my wife and I. You know, and I'm a New York guy, as you know. But that was a good job, and we were enjoying ourselves. But CBS came and said, hey, we want you to help us with this. We believe in you. We've liked you for a while. I wasn't saying no to that.
How does it feel to be back home?
It's awesome. It's, you know, and it's a little different, too, because being away from the Garden, I mean, I was here every night for a decade. And you know that. St. John's, too. I mean, every night. And now you come back, not only does it look a little different, you know, people like, oh, where you been? It's kind of like, no, where were you, you know, 10 years ago? Hey, you know, where you been? It's all good, though. It's my hometown. I'll always be Brooklyn-born. Never be a Nets fan. Always be from Brooklyn. My parents are still there. and the city looks good. Nice to be back.
Thanks a lot, Brandon. Appreciate it.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.